directing it. Then I met with these girls, Lauren and Katie, the writers, on Skype, and we immediately hit it off. And that's how it all started.
Okay.
They gave me the job.
And Lauren and Katie, how were you introduced to Jamie? How did you first find? Did you send it specifically to Jamie because you had seen his work, or were your people just sending it out?
No, our people were just sending out the script. We were looking for directors, and his shorts came to us, and we watched them, and we were kind of like, what? This guy wants to make our movie? That's awesome. Of course we want to talk to him. And
yeah, actually before we saw his shorts, someone sent us a link, and we followed it, and he was profiled in the New York Times.
Oh, yeah.
So I love to tell people that we found him in the newspaper, because we did. And we saw little clips of his shorts, and then once we saw them in their completeness, we were just like, why would he ever want to work with us? Let's call him right now.
yeah.
Great. Now, Ari Grainer,
Yes.
you are a busy woman at this Sundance. You have 2 films at the Sundance Film Festival. You also have Celeste and Jesse Forever, which if any of you guys haven't seen it yet, it's awesome, so go check it out. Yes, give it up. So, you know, Sundance, everyone's running around like crazy. Like, what has your Sundance been like with having to do, like, God bless your publicists. Like, how is your schedule?
Thank you, Erica Gray. It's been a busy few days, but, you know, it seems like it's busy here no matter what. I mean, I think of Sundance like Vegas. Like, you can't be here for more than a few days because it runs you down. But it's just been a lot of running around and meeting great people, and luckily I'm so deeply in love with both films, especially ours, that it's easy to go around and talk about it and take some pictures.
So Lauren and Katie, I just want to talk. It's very interesting. There are co-writers. What that relationship is like. I hear of many different ways that co-writers work together. How do you guys do it? Like, is there someone that specializes in one thing or the other? Do you guys go back and forth? Like, what's that process like for you?
We both have different versions of this story.
I want to hear both sides.
No, literally we write side by side for the most part.
We, like, generally the way we start is we sort of, like, once we come up with our idea, then we just brainstorm, like, what are some ideas for that idea? Then they turn into scenes, and then it sort of turns into an outline, and then we'll generally start writing the script together, so that the voice matches, and then we really know, like, how the characters speak. But then time saving, we will divide up, but we will literally sit next to each other on our computers, and if one of us writes something funny, we're like, look what I did. Like, we just, but we're very much together.
Yeah, we wrote it together. We drew a lot from personal experience, both of us, and try to make things feel really real, and I think that's why it works.
And now, Lauren, you're also in the film. I don't know if you guys know that, but you're also in the film. When you were writing the script, did you always envision yourself in the movie?
Well, of course I envisioned myself, but no one else did, so that was the problem. It was obviously a dream that I had to be able to be in it, but then, it wasn't until we were making it independently on our own that I was like, wait, could I play Lauren? Is it okay if I play her? And so, it happened, so it's super exciting.
And obviously, I haven't seen the movie yet, obviously no one has, but you have a lot of scenes with Ari?
Oh yes, most of the scenes, yeah.
Okay.
The movie is 50/50.
They're Lauren and Katie, and I play Katie and she plays Lauren.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. And now what was that, so you're actually playing Katie, what was that like on set? Was Katie ever like, I would never behave like that?
Katie calls me movie me. It wasn't, the characters have these names, and there are things about the characters that are sometimes similar to the real life versions, and the story was inspired by the true events of Katie phone sexing in college and Lauren finding out, but it sort of ended there, and so I never did sort of like my version of Katie, but the character was written so full of life and funny and vulnerable and strong and lovable, and that's exactly how Katie is in real life.
Tell them more about it.
So, now, Jamie, as we were saying, you have a ton of great short films that you've done, but going into a feature is such a bigger ball of wax. Was there any point when you felt like, okay, wow, making a feature is definitely a much bigger deal? Were there any points where you felt challenged to the point where you were overwhelmed, or was it just like, oh, this is just like making a lot of shorts with the same characters all in a row?
I approach every project like a project. I don't really think of them in terms of their length. Certainly I learned a lot from this experience, and I had never worked with so many talented comedic actors in such an improvisatory way. My films, as you know, are very structured, and a lot of the humor comes from the visuals and me making fun of the characters. And this was so much more about, you know, real these actors creating these real people, and so it was a totally new experience for me. Was I overwhelmed? I was kind of on autopilot. I really wasn't.
Never. Jamie's like the Energizer Bunny with his never-ending like energy and just constantly positive, and just he never tired. It was just like non-stop, just like positivity, energy. What do you want to add?
I just wanted to say that when we shot it in 15 days, and you know, so it's a very, very quick process. And honestly, I did not see Jamie Travis get frustrated. He never got frustrated once. Well, that's not true. One time. I remember one time. But for the most part, he was so even-keeled, and we had the most amazing crew, but you can only run a good ship and get it all done and have a great product if you have a strong head. And Jamie really was such an amazing leader for our whole crew and cast and team.